O's Dalit or O's Hay, so let's just do O's Dalit. And this one is page, this is the same one as yours, Ayin Test.
Okay. So O's Dalit.
O's Dalit. So you need Benuksha, if you have Chametz Nuksha, so he wants to know if there's a din of Taruvas by Chametz Nuksha. Yesh Shitas to Sphirle Dosmer Torah. The Gam came Mikra, this Pasuk of Koch Machmetzes. Yesh over him, they'll have Irak Rabbanan. I am a Torah Chaim Spentaf Man Beis. Vayim Bachronim, the Trey Nuksha Yesh. I think we did this, I remember. Osam Machshavim, the Mishnah Psachim and Beis and Beis, over him the Haim the Rabbanan. But however, may Peros and may Mayim Modim the Have Teraisa. Vayim Bachor Chaim Spentaf Man Beis, that's in the Sivis. The Evan HaOzer Spentaf Man Beis, that's discussed these two types of Nuksha, I guess. Linyan Sa'or, that's where we said it didn't become real chametz yet. It was in the process, right? Achronim herichu b'zem od. Ayim b'tzlach shekas of the das achronim b'Rambam de'enu ela d'Rabbanan. V'divrei Rambam kan perekei halachik gimel shekas of the meksifu panav, which is middle of the process, right? Einu chayev. Mashma d'asr. He said einu chayev, so it's mashma. There's no chain, but it's mashma. It is asr min Torah. I think we read this last time. Right. Now he says, "B'nei kol chayavim b'mitzvos chayavim b'lav zeh." It applies to everyone. It's like any lav. Lein tshuva, no kizer mamano. How much you have to spend? Ayin leil b'mashik asavla. These general principles. There's no specific rules by Terus Chametz. Now he says, "Ayin chulin perik or v'rotev daf kavchav." The himcha is chametz. If you melt down chametz, the gama when you swallow it, you're chayiv. Because the more darshan is the next word nefesh, but rabos ha shosa. The chaim pasuk Rambam kan perik aleph halach aleph. The chora efshel omar, the haribui that you have this word nefesh is dafke the chametz gomer. But if you have taruvas chametz o nuksha im himcha, could be if you liquefy it. Ain't no chayav malchus. There's no malchus. There's no reboot. So even if you hold tarubas is of the raisa, and nuksha, even if you hold us of the raisa, it could be that if you were himcha, could be there's no reboot. So it could be if there is no raisa. So the frat keeping the lekel achad koah. There's only one koah of this nefesh, the rabos marbin chametz gomer. So you don't have a mucker for the other ones. The ayin tos of sachem dav bezim and alter maskal or. Sofa Dibur, the Daf of Gimel on the days of your Moscow, my Binayu, the Daf of Ches on the days of their Moscow, Chalif Neismano. So I don't know what he's referring to, I didn't look them up. Chakirazu Gam came Be'er Pesach, he says you have the same Shaila of Himcha in Himcha Chametz. Now he's talking about because the Rambam Paskins that the Chi of Kares is only on Pesach. And he passes like Rabbi Yehuda, there's a lav Erev Pesach from Chatzos on, but it's only a lav. So he says you have the same shaila if you would be Mamche Chametz Erev Pesach. Would you say that since it's Chametz Gomor here, a different shaila that's in the ribui, so it's only a lav, or would you say the ribui is only when Chametz is Karas? And here, since it's only a lav, after Dainu Chaya Malkus.
Then it still would be over Asad Rabbanan.
Yeah. V'dinim eilu yavuaru barichos b'chiboreinu l'kamed emirtah Hashem. Okay, so now the next shtickle is not written by the Minchas Chinuch. I don't know who it is. It says we're somebody from Chernobyl. I always thought it was a son, but it's not. I don't think so. Now I don't think so. It doesn't mention the son. And it's only, I looked through it fast. It's a complicated pilpul, but the Minchas Chinuch is Gedorim and Kashas on the Gedorim. This is mamash a regular pilpul who uses this level, this, you have to hold cup and a whole good cheshbon, you have to hold a whole lot of gemaras, which then I didn't prepare, but I don't think it's the learning Minchas Chinuch. It's someone over there from Chernobyl that has a pilpul. It could be a very beautiful pilpul. I have no idea, but I don't think we should do it. We'll spend a couple of weeks trying to work out the pilpul, and it's not it's not Minchas Chinuch type stuff. Right. So I think we should go to Mitzvah Yud Gimel.
Okay. Any idea why you put something like this in here?
I don't know who put it in.
Yeah, but the publisher also.
Well, maybe the publisher was from Chernobyl. Who was the rabbi? I don't know.
He was in.
I don't know.
He was in Chernobyl?
Yeah, he was in Chernobyl. The Minchas Chinuch was in Chernobyl. Yeah, Abbas and the Chernobyl.
Rav Amor Hagadol, is that more?
Ben Yosef Babad. Abbas and the Kila Chernobyl.
Right. Rav Amor Hagadol. What's those on the Mem Tzedek mean?
Mem Tzedek means the Mored Tzedek. Probably means Dayan and Mored Tzedek. Who's on the Bezdin?
Who's on the Bezdin? So okay.
I always thought it was a son, but maybe not. It's not the same name or anything like that. Who put it in? I don't. Okay. But it's really, I went through it quickly.
Yeah.
And not that I chapped the pilpul, but it's all pilpul. I didn't see any new hagdaras. I didn't think maybe I missed it. Okay, mitzvah gimel. Shalo nachil min ha-pesach li-Yisrael meshumad. You're not allowed to feed from the Korban Pesach a mumer, a meshumad. Shenemar, because there's a pasuk that says, Kol ben nechor lo yochel bo. So he's learning, this is the Rambam also, that you can't feed him. It's not that the pasuk is going on the ben nechor himself, he shouldn't eat it, but it means we can't give to eat a ben nechor. Ubo ha-perish olav, and it explains this pasuk called ben nechor lo yochel bo. Who's called the ben nechor? Yisrael shenesnak l'masav l'aviyus hashemayim. So we're going to see if that means any mumer, a mumer l'avodah zara, but it's a mumer. It's not. Right?
When you say shlonechubo, but he himself can, like if he gets
simple pshat is there's only an issur to feed him, and the Torah wasn't speaking to him. You have to see that he doesn't eat it, but it's not an issur on him. So we'll see. The Minchas Chinuch might end up it's both, but the language of the Rambam and the Chinuch is shlo nachil. We don't say anything about the ben nechor.
Right. Well, I'm trying to figure out what the I guess we're going to see what nachil means. It means the
Question pshat means the mumer l'avodah zara. It means other mumering.
Yeah, but the action also does actually mean putting it into his mouth or letting
giving him to eat. I don't know. We'll see.
Because you have to see just by making him part of the chabura might be.
Are you over without him actually eating it? Just being mamana him on the Korban Pesach? I don't think so. But the other shaila, if you have to actually put it in his mouth, or is it enough to put it in front of him to eat that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That's the type of thing that we'll talk about. So let's see.
Right.
Shlo nachil min ha-pesach li-Yisrael mumer. Zok the Minchas Chinuch b'vur Rambam Perik Tasmi Korban Pesach.
You want to do the chinuch first?
Oh, there's more chinuch. I didn't even notice. Yishor shli mitzvah zu ma'ashakaso b'shlitaso. What he talks about when he speaks about the mitzvah of being makriv or shechtin Korban Pesach. Liskor nisei mitzrayim. That's the whole idea. V'alkein roi shelo yochel bo meshumad. Acher she'enu oso so lo sulu zikaron shebana boso azman achsos tachas kafei shchina v'nechlasu b'vris haTorah v'emunah, because he doesn't go for all that. So ein roi shenachol mimenu lemishu hepech miseh sheyotza min haklal v'kafar b'emunah. V'alkiyotzi v'zoh nemer batam l'famim svaruhu kolomer v'ein tzorich raya acheres. So except here the Torah made it to a law, but he says the Torah is simple, but that's the whole inyan. And he was separated from that. You don't have it. The no heges b'skarim and akevos. So l'chora means that whoever the lav is going in, because he's saying the lav, if the lav applies to the feeder, so that's whether the feeder is a zokar or a keva. Bisman abayish yesham korban pesach. For over olav a hechel mimenu ben nechor. Just as hechel, it doesn't exactly say what exactly is hechel. Over alav, he's over the slav. The aimbo malchus. The fish aimbo mice, and it's hard to understand what's the name of the mice. I mean, island, you put it in his mouth, and you put it in front of him, it'll cover there's a mice. So that the Minchas Chinuch, I'm sure, will speak about it.
I find it interesting because his reason will apply even to the Nishma. His reason for not, his reason for not being a mammon would not seem to matter. The fact is he's not a mammon, so therefore, it's like. I don't feel, but is it?
I don't agree with that. I think it could be. I mean, it's a person who went against this.
Yeah, but the way he said, okay.
He says, you can put it into words very simple. Who hapak me says, yatsa min haklal. The kafar b'emuna.
So kafar b'emuna, so he has to take.
I hear your way. I'm not arguing with you, but I don't think it's necessarily Pasha Shad, and the words don't say it. The words say fakir. He was yatsa min haklal, the kafar b'emuna.
Yeah, I'm just Always gets me that the famous statement for Chaim,
Never Chabad Torahs is an apikaris.
Right. The question is whether it's the Metzias or the intent.
And I don't think if it occurred to me the Lashon is more mashma that he went against it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's mukh either.
Because kafir does seem to imply that.
Yeah. Okay. Minchas Chinuch shalom. Mavur beramdam perak tes mikorim pesach halacha zayin. That's where the halach was brought down. Zayin shem the bein pesach rishon the bein pesach sheni. This applies to even the pesach sheni over balav zeh. Zayin kesef mishta sham. I don't know what he deals with. It's much he deals with. How do we know it's by pesach rishon and pesach sheni?
By this, it's the same love. For both?
That's where there's only one lav over here, I think. Torah called benecher lagocho. Uminayin over it says talk about the benecher shintidu. Uminayin over alav hazeh hamachil. So how do we know this applies to the one who feeds it to him? Ein kesef mishra kasav the mashul rabbeinu. Meaning, because Mishnah is talking about the Rambam. The all of lo shayach lomer da'azra kasav, because it's not likely, it's not piece of lo shayach, it's not possible. The Torah is telling the apikoros you're not allowed to eat it, right? Because why would the Torah talk to an apikoros and tell him what he's not allowed to? A special issue on an apikoros that you don't tell an apikoros. Apikoros doesn't listen anyway. The lo chayav. Lamashi Sira Torah Kedusha. The Lo Chayish, I'm sorry. The Chayish Lamashi Sira Torah Kedusha. To say that the Torah wrote a special lav talking to the apikoros is not mistaver because he doesn't care what you tell him. Karcha Chaperish Yisrael Hamachilu Asir Kra. Okay, but he's going to discuss this further. But that's, in other words, we don't find, even though apikoros are machiv on the whole Torah. But I guess all the other places, the Torah didn't talk to the apikoros. So, say, for example, the Torah said you can't eat chametz. Right? So, apikoros, even as a apikoros, he still does over when he eats chametz. He's over the lav. But what the Kesef is saying, the Torah, we don't find the Torah told us that a special lav to the apikoros. Like if here he's talking to the Ben Nechor, it's not mistaver that the Torah would tell a special lav to an apikoros who doesn't listen. So therefore, it's more mitzvah. It's telling us not to give it to an apikoros.
But it's still interesting that you do have a mitzvah for everyone to eat from it. So it comes an interesting question: if he eats from it, an individual who
he has to do tshuva and then eat from it. That what his mitzvah would require him to do tshuva and eat from it.
So he muvatal the essay of not eating from it because he prevented because he has to do tshuva. It's interesting.
I would imagine so.
That was interesting.
The Lashon of Rambam Sham. These are his words. Ben Nechor Omer B'Torah. So here's what the Rambam said. Well, who exactly is a mumer? Zeha Oved Eol Nechor. He serves a strange god. V'chein kasa. That's mamash only in the Oved Avodah Zarah. V'chein kasa B'Tchila Hamachol Pesach L'Mumer L'Avodah Zarah. V'chein Hu Lashon Harav HaMachaber. Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. Where's that lashon? He said Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. Yisrael Meshumah.
But in Aleph there, you see the Aleph in the Shar, there's some Mumar L'Akum.
Oh, so maybe the Minchas Chinuch had that girsa. Oh. Okay, so he must have had that girsa.
Right.
So therefore he's saying the Rambam and the Chinuch and his Girsa both said the Ben Nechor is a person who's a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. Mikol Makom Ani Mesupek Im Hu Dav Kashov L'Avodah Zarah. Do they mean specifically only a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah? Havalim Hu Mumar L'Chal Shabbos, because a lot of times they say Mumar L'Chal Shabbos is like a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, and he passes the wine if he touches it, and he can't shecht. The Mavur B'Chulin Davi Mumar L'Chal Torah. You're just a Mumar L'Chal Shabbos. It means over there L'Chal Shabbos with Farhesia. You're a Mumar L'Chal Torah too, and that's a din that is considered a Mumar L'Chal Torah. Oh, what about Mumar L'Chal Torah Gufa? Because we say Mumar L'Chal Torah Gufa is even if he keeps Shabbos and he's not over the Zarah, but if he's Mumar to the whole rest of the Torah, we say Mumar L'Chal Torah Chut Mishnei Elu also has a din of Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. It has a din like that. I'm B'Yeridei Siman Bei Sifei, because there it's talking about that a Mumar can't shecht. And it says clearly that a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah and a Mumar L'Chal Shabbos for Heskeh and the Mumar L'Chol Torah Kol Chutz Me'Shnei Elu can't shecht. Mikol Makom could be Einu over B'Lavzeh. Maybe this slab doesn't apply to such a Mumar if you feed him. The Kach Gzeres HaKasuv, that only a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. Oh, Efsher, or maybe he says Lav Dafka Over Avodah Zarah, even though the Rambam and his gears have said over Avodah Zarah. Elim Hu Mumar L'Chol Torah L'Chol Shabbos after Einu over Avodah Zarah Hu B'Chlal HaZeh. V'ayin Rambam Perigimel Meisek Rabbanos V'Perigimel Mishkagos the Mishnah Melech Harichus Sham. And according to the case of Mishnah, that said the reason we know it's talking about feeding him because it's not the Torah doesn't tell things to an Apikoros who won't listen anyway. So if he's a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, I can understand maybe he doesn't listen anyway. He doesn't believe in God commanding him, which is not so pashut. But if he's a Mumar, just like the Chal Shabbos, and he keeps everything else, who says he won't listen? I mean,
it could be like a Mumar Tayavah. The fact is that we treat him like a Mumar.
But he would listen. The Torah, he listens. He keeps everything else. He just doesn't keep. Shabbos. So, but anyway, it's not a heshrich. Just that stam is a mumar. You don't because even a mumar L'Avodah Zarah, it doesn't necessarily mean that he won't listen to Hashem. If it means he doesn't believe in any God whatsoever, I understand that. So who's God telling him? What's God telling him what to do? But if he's like those people, Rambam's time, he speaks about the people that believe in Hashem, but Hashem assigned powers to the sun or moon and stuff like that. So it's not that he doesn't believe in Hashem. So Hashem can't tell him. Things. So the whole Kesef Mishnah Sfara is limited to a person who you're wasting your time telling him because he doesn't listen anyway. But even by a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, that's not necessarily true. But okay. So anyway, but that's his suffix. Even though the Rambam in Chinuch mentions specifically Shenisnakru Masav L'Avi Shemayim means Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, but he doesn't know about other people who find in the Torah have such a din. Like Shechita, we have a Mumar L'Chol Shabbos for Hesya, it's like a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, and we have a din of Mumar L'Chol Torah Kula. Shechita isn't good even if it's not a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. So he's Mesupik.
An interesting thing. I'm thinking about the Rashi in Chullin, who explains why Mumar L'Chol Torah Kula why Mumar L'Chol Shabbos is Mumar L'Chol Torah Kula. Because it's Kuiper b'Maisa. So the argument there is that the Mumar that's Machal Shabbos for Hesya, it's not just the fact that we treat him as a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah. It's the fact that it's
a kfir in Hashem.
In other words, it's an extended concept of Avodah Zarah. So the truth is, he seems to be saying not like that. He seems to be saying that it's like there's a category, we take someone from this category, put him into this category for certain halachos, street or whatever it is. But Rashi seems to be saying that this category sort of includes this category. So according to that argument, it would be more
part of it than
here. More part of it, yeah. It's just interesting because it's Rashi's shot. I mean it's yeah.
Because there are a lot of sheep that hold the mitzvah that where it's Nogaya is a shaila in the Achronim and Mumar of Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Is that some people hold Yom Kippur? It's like Chomer like Shabbos, just like a Mumar Shabbos is a Mumar L'Chol Kula. Mumar for Yom Kippur is a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah also. And some people say like you, Rashi says Davka Shabbos because he's Kofer Meiser Breishus. He's a Mumar Yom Kippur. He's not a Kofer Meiser Breishus. Some people make Hilukim.
It's interesting because even with Yom Kippur, it's still not a skila. I mean, Malachos and Yom still not a skila. So it's okay, so it's, but I mean, you say Shabbos, Shabbaton, something like that.
Well, I'm telling you, even when you say by Shabbos, a Mumar Shabbos is a Mumar L'Avodah Zarah, most people hold that you don't have to be Mechal Shabbos with a Malacha. Most people hold that you're Mechal Shabbos with any Isser Deraisa b'Farasa. That shows that you're over my street, even though it doesn't have to be this skill. And there were even Shitas and Shulchan Aruch that hold even if Mechal Shabbos with a Derabanan, that you know that there's a Derabanan and they do it b'Farasa.
Really?
That you're considered your Shechita is no good. The whole big mafocus Achroni, what Mumur L'Chal Shabbos for Heskia means. But still, they're not saying that like you. They're saying because the whole idea that he's willing to L'Chal Shabbos for Heskia shows that he's certain in his. You don't have to do a skila. You could do even the Tchumi or something. It still shows that you have sfekas or whatever it is if Hashem created the world. Right. But even your time that maybe Mechul Shabbos is more like a Razer, but what about the other case of Mumur L'Chol Terakul Chutzmi, these two?
Right. I know. It's just interesting. Whenever I think of Mumur L'Chol Shabbos, I think about that Rashi, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. And it's not really like a separate category. So it seems as if more is extending the category from the But the fact is that, but it seems that he's not considering that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's still musupik what the halacha is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe he's going to go into it because remember, even he doesn't discuss. Maybe he'll discuss it. I don't know. But when you say a person is a mumur, so Tosus is a really big machlokes Rishonim. Let's say b'mumur chal Shabbos. If you do it one time to become a mumur, you have to do it 2 times or 3 times. So I don't know about mumur avodah zarah. You have to work out.
Right.
Once you put categories, you have to work out each category, the halacha. I don't know, here just says a ben nechor, so it would be enough. If the guy was over the bazaar once, would you say he's a member of the bazaar, and if you feed him, you're over a lav? So maybe he's going to go into it, I don't know.
I'm also wondering, what you said before about having to do tshuva, I wonder what tshuva takes you away from this definition of ben nechor.
I think for sure it does. We'll see. I think he's going to speak about that for sure.
Yeah, but is it like a momentary, I'd be interested in what the tshuva that...
What kind of tshuva you have to do. Okay. So the next paragraph speaks about this, with your tshuva. He says, Hinei b'menachos daf kavtes and aleph, it said over there, Kohanim sheshimshu l'davar acher, if Kohanim were once priests for Avodah Zarah, lo yishamshu b'mikdash, they're not allowed to do their vote in the base mikdash. Sham b'vari mari dafka l'avodah zarah. So there it means when they were shamash l'davar acher, means they actually served the avodah zarah. Ayin shem b'sagid afilu asa tshuva. That's the case. Even there, it's as far as doing the avodah, even if they did tshuva, they still can't do the avodah in the base mikdash. Ryan around the perik test, b'bias mikdash l'afir gimel. U'muchacha sham ekra, and he proves it from, or the more darshans it from sukim. Avokan b'vadai. Here's your case. He must have tshuva. He's no longer a ben nechor and ochel ha-pesach. And over there, as far as doing the avodah, there's psukim. Rak calls machahu b'hamarasa, as long as he's a mumur, ain't no ochel. In kain efsher, the adin mumur l'chal shabbos kam kain. So what's one have to do with the other? He says, just like you see avodah zarah, it's not because you serve the avodah zarah that tshuva helps. In other words, if the din would have been by Avodah Zarah that even tshuva doesn't help, then he would say it's limited to Avodah Zarah. It's a special din in Avodah Zarah like you find by Kohanim. Once you see that tshuva helps, it could be true by, so it could be a mumur l'chal Shabbos. That's the same din as a mumur l'avodah Zarah. Or else I don't see what the connection is one to the other. That's the only way I understand it.
Yeah, especially at Efsher. Efsher do a din mumur l'chal Shabbos.
If the din would be that even if you do tshuva, in other words, he's saying by Kohanim, the sheshimshu, there the point is, since you're over the Zarah, so then you can't say you do B'Yod Hashem even if you did tshuva. If that would be over here also, he's saying then he wouldn't have his shaila. He would say that's only by Avodah Zarah, dimya to the case of Kohen sheshimshu, and it's not by him over B'Chol Shabbos. For sure over here tshuva would help. But once you see that tshuva does help, so then maybe you could then you could go back to his shaila that
so you're saying that Chil Shabbos, that's why he's thinking Chil Shabbos.
Yeah, right. The Ayin Zvachim Daf Chavbeis and Beis Mavur Shem Mikra the Yecheskel. There in Yecheskel is a pasuk that says Kol Ben Nechor, and it says Oral Leiv, Oral Basar Lo Yochel on Mikdashi. So there's 3 things in that pasuk: a Ben Nechor, an Oral Leiv, and an Oral Basar. So the Gemara over there says the Ben Nechor, the Oral Psulim LaAvoda. And what's a Ben Nechor? Ben Nechor Hainish and Snakru Masav. Same language over here in the Snakru Masav. Renown Sham Tzricha. You need a pasuk for a Ben Nechor and for an Oral. Why? You need a special pasuk. You couldn't learn that one from the other. The Ikas Rachmana Oral Leiv. If Torah just would have said Oral Leiv, Havamina Mishum De'en Libo Lasha Mayim. In Oral Lev, it means he doesn't have Emunah. It's Nashla Mayim. Whereas saying a Ben Nechor is Libo Lashamayim. The Ben Nechor, I would have thought Hainu Dafka Oved Avodas Zara, and Oral Lev is not necessarily an Oved Avodas Zara. Him Kain Afilu Libo Lashamayim L'chal Avoda. So you see over here that the bar says a Ben Nechor is Libo L'Shamayim, right? And he's L'chal Avoda, because that's what the pasuk is talking about there. Afilu B'as Tshuva, because that's what the word means. Because B'chor, as long as he's over the Zar, he's not Libo L'Shamayim. But it means even Libo L'Shamayim, meaning even though he did Tshuva, Kemavur, like the Gemara says in Menachos. Ela al korkot the B'chal Ben Nechor Hainu Mumar L'chal Shabbos. So he's saying like this, more he's saying. But comes out the Gemara is saying that I would have thought a Ben Nechor who does Tshuva is good. Right? And the Gemara says in Menachos, if you do Tshuva, you're no good by the Avoda. Right? So he's saying, so what did the Gemara mean? I would have thought that a Ben Nechor is Libo L'Shamayim and he's good. I went and learned it from Oral. Why would I thought it's good? The Gemara in Menachos says if you do Tshuva, if you're over Avodah Zarah, it doesn't help. So he says, so one way out of it is Hainu Mumar L'chal Shabbos. So therefore, when the Gemara says a Ben Nechor could be good because it's Libo L'Shamayim, it's not talking about Avodah Zarah, because Avodah Zarah Tshuva doesn't help. It must be talking about Mumar L'chal Shabbos, Benasa Tshuva, and I would have thought he's much of Avod Ayin Sham.
What's the case he's talking about in the Cheskel?
It says over there, Ben Nechor and Oral Lev, and the Yabal and Mikdash, the Gemara is learning to do the Avodah.
That's only what doing the Avodah.
Yeah. So he's saying the Gemara said if it just said Oral Lev and it didn't say Ben Nechor, I wouldn't pass the Ben Nechor because the Ben Nechor is Libo L'Shamayim. So that means if it's over Avodah Zarah, what do you mean it's Libo L'Shamayim? It means he did Tshuva. So he's saying, how would I thought that's good? The Gemara over there, the Gemara in Menachos holds Ben Nechor, even if that's Tshuva, is no good. That's Torah without this pasuk. So how could I think that an Oral Lev is Libo L'Shamayim if that's Tshuva is good? So he's saying, must be when the Gemara talks about an Oral Ben Nechor over here, it means the Mumar Shabbos, and if he does Tshuva, it's good.
How do you understand Oral Lev? Oral Lev is only while he's actually still thinking about Avodah Zarah.
Yeah.
So the truth is that okay. So we're saying that since he does Tshuva, it's also can't be talking about that. He can't. It's still also so can't be talking about that.
Hachatosas v'achim sham mishum hikishu b'zeh had this problem that how could the Gemara have a havamina that oral that Tshuva helps? The Gemara said over there in Menachos that Tshuva doesn't help. The Kasu, so his teretz is we're talking about L'chal Shabbos, and there was Avodah Zarah, but Tos didn't say that. The Kasu the Ein Libo L'Shamayim, Hainu the Pam Lo Hayo Libo L'Shamayim. Ve'hiviu Hashas Hanau Ayin Sham. So what does he mean? Tos is saying that when the Gemara says Oro Ben Nechor Ramina Sham Tzrich V'Dikas Rechmon Oro Lev Havamina the Ein Libo L'Shamayim. But so what he says Ein Libo L'Shamayim means that the Pam Lo Hayo Libo L'Shamayim, even though he did Tshuva, but it doesn't mean he's now not Libo L'Shamayim. But it means he never was. One time he wasn't Libo L'Shamayim. So he doesn't say his chiluk, so he's saying that there was no stira between that Gemara and the Gemara in Menachos. So I guess the Gemara is learning a Ben Nechor who is an Oral Lev, and if it just said Oral Lev, I would have thought the Ein Libo L'Shamayim doesn't mean, because now it's not Libo L'Shamayim, which would mean he did Tshuva is good, what do you do with the Gemara Menachos? So he's saying it means there was never Libo, there was one time it wasn't Libo L'Shamayim, so that way shouldn't be a stira. So it doesn't say his shot at time of Michal Shabbos.
But the fact is Oral Lev is talking about what's in his mind.
But it's ain't Libo L'Shamayim. So he's saying it's mashma if he did Tshuva, it would be good.
Even true, but that would be even about a Zara.
Yeah, because he's learning. I think he's learning that. You have to look at the Gemara. I think he understands the Benechor is the oral lev. It's like the Benechor over here is an oral lev. If they just said called him an oral lev, it would be ein libo would be ein libo l'shamayim. So Toz is saying, but if it means libo l'shamayim, we would think it's good. I think we're menachos. So he's saying it meant it was never libo l'shamayim.
So it means that Ben Necha means once you did the Maisa of Avodah Zarah, oral lev is actually a person who's really still believing in Avodah Zarah.
Yeah.
And Ben Necha is talking about someone who's already done tshuva on that.
He says yesh l'fal pill. Okay, but anyway, he's showing you that Tosfos didn't bring the Memor Chal Shabbos. Vayim Sachem Daf Tzadik Lev Ayin Aleph V'vor Gam Kain Haitzri Chusa D'Zvachim. But I guess it doesn't help. It just says the same three Chusa. Linyan Avoda Ein Kan V'Komo, and he's not going to discuss now the halachos of Avoda. What's pastor or not? Im Yirtz Hashem Yivur V'Komo L'Mumer L'Chal Shabbos Havi B'Klal B'Nechor. He says, I guess he'll discuss. I guess when it comes to Avodah, he'll discuss what the halachos is. The Mumer L'Chal Shabbos. L'Inyan Shanu Asukim Kama Pesach Tzarech Iyan. To the Mishonim near from the lashon of the Rambam and the Chinuch near Davka Mumer L'Avodah Zarah. L'Chal Shabbos Eina B'Klal Zeh. V'gam L'Divrei Kesef HaMishnah Sheyatzel LaRambam Hazari Yal Machilo. Dein Shach Olav Kiva Deinu Choshesh. But that was my however. According to the Kesef HaMishnah, it's talking about the guy that Im Kain Bishnu Lo L'Chavim Avodah Zarah Shaper Lo Shach, because he's Avodah Zarah doesn't listen to what Hashem tells him. Avolim Shomer Kol HaTorah Rek Mechal HaShabbos L'Chavar Shach Shaper Azara Olav Gamkein. I don't think, like I told you, I hear the Rai himself about the Rai, but it's not such a hechud Rai. Because even by Avodah Zarah Gufa, it's possible that he could listen to an Azara.
Yeah. I mean, it's also the motivation. I mean, the fact is that a person might do the mitzvah of Avodah Zarah, but not really believe in it. I mean, it's just, you know.
Yeah, well, that's already not.
Well, I mean,
if you do the mitzvah of Avodah Zarah and you don't really believe in it, it's not so push it. That's called Avodah Zarah. Where you have the machlokus of the Gemara, I'm familiar with it now because I'm just learning that Gemara. You have the machlokus if you surah Avodah Zarah mi'ava v'yira, meaning because you like the guy who asks you to do it,
right?
And you don't really believe in it, or you're afraid the guy's going to think. So Abaya says it is your chayiv, it's Avodah Zarah, because you did the act of Avodah Zarah, and Rabbi says you're patur because you don't believe in it. Yeah.
Where's that from?
This is a Gemara in Sanhedrin, Samach Gimel. Ovid me'aba v'yira. And that's the Rishon and Durham Shabbat. Rashi learns us talking about you don't believe in the Avodah Zarah, but you're bowing down to it or sacrificing to it because either the person who told you to do it you like very much, so you'll do him a favor and you'll do it without believing in it. And yira is you're afraid it'll hurt you, so you'll do it. It's no gaya how you learn the whole Indian of a serious nefesh.
That's what I'm thinking about. Because if that's going to Rabbah, how can you have the serious? What would ever be the case with serious nefesh? Once you're doing it because you're afraid you're going to get killed.
So you're not a little reserved, but it's a chil Hashem.
Which is what they say anyway.
The Rambam says Altzchil Hashem. He doesn't say Altzchil Kol, because anyway he holds, even if you believe in it, you're an onus and you're not over Zarah because you're an onus, so they say it's Altzchil Hashem. So you can learn the same thing even according to a rabbi, that it's not a mitzvah of Zarah, but it's
a mitzvah of Hashem.
But there's a whole big toss over there that goes into, I don't know, I only know with Jerusalem or Rashi, but I know there's a whole big toss over there. I once learned that. I don't remember exactly what Tosfos says.
Right.
But it's okay.
That's why that's interesting, because it seems according to the Rambam, I understand, like this case over here about doing Avodah Zarah because you're being forced because of serious nefesh, it wouldn't be possible to clean, right? It wouldn't be possible to clean because it's not really, according to the Rambam, you weren't over Avodah Zarah, you were over. we're supposed to be moistened.
Well, this case of
if you're doing a Avodah Zarah under pain of
under
death,
onus,
under onus, right? So you would not be.
You would be puzzled.
So I can understand that. That's it. So Rabbi is saying the Chil Hashem is not really. He's actually saying it's not even an issue of Avodah Zarah. It's just an issue of Chil Hashem, according to Abaye.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't know if that's what Tosa says, but that's how I understood it. Because Rabbi says clearly, Me'avav Yira, you're putter. It's not an act in the word. It seems to say it's not an act of Avodah Zarah. He doesn't believe in it, so how could it be Avodah Zarah?
But still, doing that act in that situation is Chil Hashem. He's supposed to be Moshe
That's how mainstream. The Gemara doesn't speak about that.
No, that's interesting.
You have to see Tosa. That's a different approach.
Yeah.
It says, Acher Zman Ra'isi B'Tirevet Chagiga Dalet on the days. Ibrahim Maskal Remeir, Pilpul. I guess he's befalpul on this shaila if it's only over Avodah Zarah or not. Well, maybe the Milashon Ramam Hilchos Keren Pesach Mavur Davka Mumur Avodah Zarah. V'gam Yitosas Vacham Sheivesi. He also with Tosa says the case was he was a Mumur Avodah Zarah. Acher Zar Kosev, and after he brings that, he says to the Red Meir, who holds that Mumur Davar Achad Have Mumur L'Chol Torah. So he says according to the Meir, Mumur Davar Echad is Gamkein B'Chlal. I don't know why he says that. Because if he meant that the Ram is Dafka Mumur Avodah Zarah, and we pass in the Mumur L'Chal Shabbos, and the rest is the Mumur L'Chal Torah, he seems to say that he's not puzzled, but he says according to the Meir, that the Mumur Davar Echad is the Mumur L'Chal Torah Kula, he's Gamkein B'Chlal. So how does he know to say that? I had a Tosas in Chulin Daf Yadal. The Mishnah over there says, if you shecht on Shabbos, even though you're not allowed to, but the animal, the shechita is kosher in a Torah. Maybe a knas, you can't eat it on Shabbos, you have to wait afterward, but it's not unavailable. The shechita is kosher. So Tosas asks, how could the shechita be kosher? He's Machal Shabbos, because he's shechting on Shabbos, and we know in Machal Shabbos the shechita isn't good. So Tosa says, and don't tell me it's talking about he did it with Sina and only Machal Shabbos for Hesed, because he proves that the Gemara was willing to make an attempt that he was doing it before Hesed. So he said, how could the Gemara make such an attempt? The Chori's Machal Shabbos. So that's where Tosa says, well, one time you don't become a mumur to answer that Mishnah. And then what Tosa also says over there, another thing, and he says that the Gemara has a kimtus for other reasons, then maybe that Mishnah is Remeir. And he says the Remeir doesn't make a difference for Hesed or Tzina, because the Mumur L'Davar Echad is the Mumur L'Chol Torah Kula. And it's not so, there is no such Gemara that according to Remeir, a Mumur L'Davar Echad is a Mumur L'Chol Torah Kula. Remember, what's working on that? The Gemara says Remeir holds if you're Choshed L'Davar Echad, you're Choshed L'Davar Torah Kula. If you have a chashash of someone that is over this, so you have to be choshesh that he's over anything. But the Gemara doesn't call him a mumur. There is no such Gemara. So I think I'm making this up the name because I don't remember, but maybe the Marit asks, where does Tosas get that the Remeir holds the mumur l'davar echad as a mumur l'chol Torah Kula? There is no such Gemara. So what it came out was there's a Gemara in Chulin that says that there's a mandamer that holds a mumur l'davar echad as a mumur l'chol Torah Kula. Because Gemara is going through a certain case, and what do you do according to the mandamer also has mumur l'davar echad as a mumur l'chol Torah Kula? The Gemara doesn't say who that is. So some Rishonim say that Gemara must mean Remeir. And just like they found rayas that he holds a choshev l'davar echad as a choshev l'davar kula, he holds a mumur l'davar echad as a mumur l'chol Torah kula. But there's no beferish statement. But there is a statement that there is a mandamer mumur l'davar echad as a mumur l'chol Torah kula. Just that the Gemara doesn't say who that is. So that's what they say. But Tat Tosas on Shabbos, when he asks the kasha, he says, first of all, the Gemara makes a kimtus that Mishnah is talking for Hesed. And he says, even if it's talking about Sina, the Gemara makes a kimtus that Mishnah is going like Remeir for other reasons. And he says, according to Remeir, L'chori is a mumur even with Sina, he's a mumur l'davar echad is a mumur l'chol Torah Kula. So Tosa over there, to answer that, Tosa says, you don't become a mumur in one time. You only become a mumur after 2 or 3 times, he says. And the Rambam over there says, how could the shechita be kosher? L'chora, he was Machal Shabbos before the Shechita, and so he was a Mumar L'Chalal Shabbos. So how could the Shechita be good? So he doesn't say there between one time or two times. He says that you're not Mechal Shabbos before the Shechita, even though before you cut two simanim, you cut one. But he says until it's an actual Shechita, it's a kilkul. So you're not really Mechal Shabbos. You're only Mechal Shabbos when it becomes a Shechita and a Tikkun, then you're Mechal Shabbos. So you can't pass all this Shechita because he wasn't Mechal Shabbos during the Shechita, just after the Shechita. You don't say B'Basachas, so for the next Shechita he'll be puzzled. He holds one time you are a Mumar, but it's Mekalkal Almanas. He says that in Perish Mishnayos.
Yeah.
And there's kashas on that. There's a big tumult on that. But that's what he says.
Because he says the actual causing the mum, like the actual cutting of it, it's a kilkul. So
you're not over. You have to have a tikkun.
But the shechita is a tikkun.
Even though it's Mekalkal Almanas L'Saken, and some people hold Mekalkal Almanas L'Saken, he holds Mekalkal Almanas L'Saken, isn't the Chilul Shabbos, even though it was Almanas L'Saken, but it was a Kilkul B'Shas.
Because he didn't actually finish with the tikkun.
Yeah. I think the Ran over there argues in the Ran. He brings the Ran and he argues with it. But so he holds. So how did I get into this? So you see, the Ran held at one time you do become a Mumar, except there he wasn't the Mechal Shabbos. Anyway, he's saying. So I don't follow Torah Even. I have to see inside because the Torah Even is bringing Medaik and the Rambam that you have to be over a Zara, right? Meaning, in a way I understand that a Mechal Shabbos perhaps you wouldn't be considered a Mumar, right? But then he's saying, according to a mayor, that Dover is a Mumar Chal Torah Kula, it would be B'Chlau. How does he know that? It can be done, but he said, he said, the way the Torah Even understands it, he's trying to show you that the Torah Even holds that anyone who's a Mumar Chal Torah Kula is called a Mumar Lavod, has a din of a Mumar Lavod Zara. So, Ein Echanami came with Didan. He's saying, according to the Torah Even, Mumar L'Chal Shabbos, the Kul Yama Modim, have a Mumar L'Chal Torah, have a Mumar Aflim in Pesach. Right. Sarachin. So he's saying it's still a Sarachin, because for the Rambam and China only said Mumar L'Chal Torah, but he's showing you that Torah Even held that anyone who's a Mumar L'Chal Torah Kula would be considered Nisnak Ma'asev. For Yivor L'Kamen, so I'll explain it more. The Inyan Avoda, when we speak about a Mumar being puzzled to do the Avoda. There was no day like this. There's a Rashi in Chumash. It says in Chumash that by Koren Pesach, it says in Oro, it says a Benechor you can't eat Koren Pesach. And it says an oral can't eat the Koren Pesach. So what's the taich of an oral? So Rashi says an oral was Mesa Achav Machos Mila. And other Rishonim say, why can't he eat Koren Pesach? He didn't do anything wrong. He's not allowed to do meals. Rashi also doesn't make a difference. He's allowed to or not. But the Mike says he's an oral, and an oral can't eat Koren Pesach. But other Rishonim say that's not true. Rabbi Tam says Mesa Achav Machos Mila is okay. So Meforshim explained why did Rashi say that case. They said because if the case wasn't Mesa Machos Mila, why didn't he do Mila? Elamai is a Mumar for oral. And Rashi held a Mumar to be an oral would go into Ben Eicher. And they learned that Rashi is going according to a mayor. And he said you can't learn the case that he was a Mumar the oral, because then you wouldn't need a pasuk. You would be a Ben Eicher. So Rashi had to make a case as an oral not being a Mumar, and he made it a case of Mesa Machos Machmas Mila. That's how they learned Rashi, because if he would be a Mumar La'arlis, he would be a Mumar L'Chal Torah Kul according to Rameir. And how would Rameir learn the pasuk? And he's trying to figure out the pasuk according to Rameir. But Rabbi Tam over there says that it's not necessarily that it's a Mumar La'arlis. Why isn't he doing it? He has no heter. So he says if the guy's afraid, he's not called a Mumar. In other words, if he's scared to have Mila, he's not doing it outside Mumar, but he's scared. He doesn't want to have an operation. He's petrified, so he refuses to do it. Rabbi Tam says that's not called a Mumar. He's not getting a heter, but he's saying, but he wouldn't have a din of a Mumar, and he wouldn't say he's a Mumar L'Chal Torah Kula, even I think even according to Meir, you wouldn't say he's a mumul d'arech or he's a mumul d'arech.
Whether that means a tayavan or lahachis. Is a mumul d'arech kula?
Well, I think we pass the mumul d'arech kula even the tayavan is called the mumul d'arech. It's called the mumul.
Right, but it seems according to Rabbeinu Tam that
it's not. That's not even called. He seems to say it's not even called the mumul tayavan because he's doing it out of a fear. He's not mouling out of a fear, and it's not. There's a true fear over there, and you can't call him a. But Rashi didn't hold like that because Rashi had to make the case of makes Smila, which is a big finish. He didn't do anything wrong, and still you can't eat the korban pesach. That's what they're showing Taina him. But see, it goes this Nogeya because it's not clear from the Gemara. Let's say Rameir held the mumul d'arech as a mumul d'arech kula. Is that a deraisa dekadin or is that a derabanan dekadin? Even mumul l'chal Shabbos, when we say he's a mumul l'chal Torah kula, is that min Torah? It's not clear in the Gemaras. I mean, from these drushes you see they're dealing with deraisa, but it's not so. It's not so pasha. What's the deraisa or what's the rabbanan? Could be the rights only a mumur l'azara. Could be these other things are only the rabbanan. He said they're all the rights because he's saying does it go into the pasuk? But it's not so. Even Rameir when he says where does it come from? A mumur l'darech or a mumur l'chalaterkula? Why should that be? I mean I understand the svara, the musar takasvara, but it's not such a easy thing to say with without a makar. You have to know the makar, and it's going to be hard to find because all the cases are Rameir who was questioned, so there you can hear it better. But that he's a mumur, it's not even so clear. But you have that one Gemara, there is such a mandamar, but it doesn't say where it comes from, and it could be it's only a Rabbanan Tikasfara, it could be mumur Chal Shabbos is only the Rabbanan. Or it's like much of those posting who say you have a shkita that a person is a mumur Chal Shabbos, but even if he only does the Rabbanans, is considered a mumur Chal Torah Kula. Is that a deraisa din? It's possible because of this, but it's not mistaver that it's a deraisa din. It's possible, like especially the way you understand the Rashi, it's a kfira type of thing, so it could be even if he only does Shabbos with Rabban, it shows that he's a shtickle kilver, but it's not muchach and it's not that mistaver. So it could be it's the Rabbanans, and the whole idea of Mumul Shabbos might only be a Rabbanan. They were machrit to make him like a Kofer B'Hashem. Even if you accept Rashi's svara, it's not so pushed that that's a svara the right. It could be there was a reason the Rabbanan were machrit. You have to know. Anyway, as far as his shaila is, he doesn't know what mumur we mean over here. And since the Rama mentions mumur avodah zarah, and the Chinuch, according to his gersa, mentioned mumur avodah zarah, he doesn't know about mumur chal Shabbos or according to Meir mumur d'arech, and he's showing you that Turiyavin holds that whatever's the mumur chal Torah kula goes into being a mumur.
It should be a deraisa. Just.
What time is it?